The United States of America New York State Quarter, released in 2001 with the Philadelphia Mint's P mint mark, stands as one of the most symbolically layered coins in the 50 state quarters program, commemorating the year 1788, when New York officially ratified the U.S. Constitution and entered the Union. This coin, like all quarters in circulation, carries the traditional obverse portrait of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan, accompanied by the iconic national inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the denomination quarter dollar. Yet what distinguishes the New York quarter from others is its reverse design, which pays tribute to the state's immense historical, cultural, and economic significance through imagery that blends geography, symbolism, and national identity. The reverse features a finely detailed outline of the state of New York, set behind a carefully rendered depiction of the Statue of Liberty, one of the most recognizable symbols of freedom in the world. Lady Liberty's raised torch is emphasized to convey enlightenment, hope, and the welcoming spirit that New York has historically represented to millions of immigrants who arrived in the United States through its harbors. This symbolism is reinforced by the reverse inscription, Gateway to Freedom, a phrase chosen to reflect both the state's role as the primary entry point for generations of newcomers and its broader reputation as a place of opportunity, progress, and cultural diversity. Behind the Statue of Liberty and the state outline appears an array of 11 radiating lines, representing the state's 11 major transportation routes, major expressways, rail corridors, and historical pathways that connect New York to the rest of the nation and emphasize the state's strategic role in commerce, movement, and communication. Situated along the rim of the reverse is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, out of many one, a reminder of the United States' identity as a nation formed from many different states, cultures, and people, a motto that fits especially well on the New York quarter given the state's rich immigrant heritage and global cultural influence. The date 2001 marks the year the coin was struck and released into circulation, while 1788 signifies the year New York joined the Union, giving historical context to its placement in the series. Produced by the Philadelphia Mint, the coin bearing the P mint mark is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, standard for circulating American quarters, and was issued in massive quantities, though collectors often seek examples in uncirculated or mint-state condition. Beyond its basic physical form, the New York State Quarter serves as a miniature historical document, reflecting not only New York's political origins and geographical identity, but also its profound cultural symbolism tied to liberty, immigration, and the story of the American promise. The depiction of the Statue of Liberty, chosen over other possible symbols like the Empire State Building or the Erie Canal, captures New York's global identity more powerfully than any other emblem could, reminding us of the millions who first saw that statue when arriving by ship, searching for new lives in a new world. Even the positioning of the state outline behind Liberty subtly emphasizes how New York is shaped by the ideals she represents. The phrase Gateway to Freedom is historically poignant, as New York was home not only to Ellis Island and the Port of New York, but also to abolitionist activity, labor movements, and civil rights struggles, making the state a central stage for expanding the meaning of freedom across generations. Holding the coin reveals a condensed narrative of American aspirations, freedom, unity, opportunity, captured through symbols compact enough to fit in the palm of one's hand, yet powerful enough to evoke decades and even centuries of history. For collectors and historians alike, the 2001 New York Quarter is a reminder of the purpose behind the 50 state quarters program: to educate the public, honor the uniqueness of each state, and inspire reflection on how every region contributes to the national identity. Although the coin is common in circulation, its design remains one of the most admired of the series due to its iconic imagery and timeless message, making the 1788 to 2001 New York State Quarter, P, a compelling piece for anyone interested in American history, numismatics, or symbolic art that encapsulates both state pride and national heritage. Next top. The United States of America Mississippi State Quarter, released in 2002 and bearing the D mint mark of the Denver Mint, stands as one of the most elegantly designed pieces in the 50 state quarters program, commemorating the state's entry into the Union in 1817 and celebrating the natural beauty, for which Mississippi is widely known. On the obverse, the coin features the traditional portrait of George Washington, adapted from John Flanagan 1932 design, along with the long-established national inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and Quarter Dollar. Yet it is the reverse of the coin that gives the Mississippi quarter its distinctive identity, for it features a richly detailed arrangement of magnolia blossoms, honoring Mississippi's official state flower and giving visual form to its nickname, the Magnolia State, which is inscribed prominently on the design. Chosen for its beauty, resilience, and widespread presence throughout the state, the magnolia symbolizes Mississippi's natural heritage, its warm climate, and the enduring cultural associations tied to southern landscapes. The design, created by Donna Weaver of the U.S. Mint's Artistic Infusion Program, depicts two large magnolia blossoms, one fully open and the other partially in bloom, along with curled leaves that provide depth and natural movement, making this quarter one of the most botanically focused and artistically graceful coins in the entire state series. Surrounding the floral imagery, the state name, Mississippi, appears above, while the important national motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, is inscribed below the date 2002, reinforcing the idea that each state contributes its unique story to the shared American identity. The earlier year, 1817, marks the moment when Mississippi became the 20th state admitted to the United States, joining the Union during a period of rapid national expansion and political change. The coin's copper-nickel-clad composition is standard for circulating quarters, but collectors often seek specimens in uncirculated, proof, or mint state condition, especially those with strong strikes that highlight the delicate textures of the magnolia petals and leaves. Beyond its physical appearance, however, the Mississippi quarter serves as a compact historical document, reflecting both the natural environment and the cultural character of the state. Mississippi's magnolia has long-standing significance, appearing in the state seal, state flag history, and countless forms of regional art and symbolism, making the flower an ideal subject for a coin intended to represent the essence of the state to the entire nation. Furthermore, the magnolia's timeless beauty contrasts with the profound historical complexities associated with Mississippi, its agricultural traditions, its literary legacy, its music, and its central role in major chapters of American history, which makes the peaceful, graceful imagery all the more meaningful. Unlike some state quarters that highlight buildings, monuments, or historical events, the Mississippi design emphasizes nature, inviting viewers to appreciate the organic identity of the region. Its simplicity and elegance also reflect the state's slower pace of life, its appreciation of natural scenery, and the cultural value placed on hospitality, tradition, and connection to the land. The Denver minted version of the coin, marked by the D, circulated widely throughout the United States, but collectors appreciate the reverse design for its clarity and the challenge of finding perfectly centered, high-quality strikes that preserve every detail of the magnolia's petals. In the broader context of the 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008 and became one of the most successful numismatic initiatives in U.S. history, the Mississippi Quarter stands out as an example of how a simple botanical symbol can convey deep cultural identity. It reminds us that coins are more than currency. They are miniature monuments, works of art, and carriers of collective memory. The Mississippi Quarter not only celebrates the state's flowering landscapes, but also serves as a tribute to the people who call Mississippi home, their traditions, their stories, and the environment that has shaped their way of life. Whether held by a collector or discovered in everyday circulation, the 1817 to 2002 Mississippi State Quarter, D, represents a blend of natural beauty, historical significance, and artistic craftsmanship, preserving the spirit of the Magnolia State in a form that can be passed from hand to hand for generations. Next top. The Wyoming State Quarter, issued in 2007 with the mint mark P for the Philadelphia Mint, is part of the U.S. Mint's celebrated 50 State Quarters program, a circulating commemorative series that ran from 1999 through 2008 and honored each state in the order it entered the Union. Although it bears the familiar inscriptions United States of America, Quarter Dollar, In God We Trust, Liberty, and E pluribus unum, This coin is distinct for its reverse design celebrating Wyoming, the 44th state, which was admitted to the Union in 1890, the date prominently displayed beneath the main artwork. The most recognizable feature of the Wyoming quarter is its minimalist yet iconic silhouette of a bucking, horse, and rider, an image known as the bucking horse and rider, symbol that has been associated with the state for over a century and represents the spirit of the American West, rodeo culture, frontier independence, and the difficult horsemanship of bronc riding. Below the silhouette appears the inscription, "The Equality State," Wyoming's official nickname, chosen to commemorate its pioneering role in expanding civil rights. In 1869, long before many other states, Wyoming Territory granted women the right to vote, and when it sought statehood 2 decades later, Congress demanded that this law be rescinded. Wyoming refused, declaring it would remain out of the Union rather than enter without women's suffrage, thus becoming the first state where women could vote, serve on juries, and hold public office. The 2007 P version of the coin was struck in enormous quantities for general circulation using the standard copper-nickel-clad composition, an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, resulting in a weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a reeded edge, identical to all modern Washington quarters. Collectors often remark on the simplicity of the Wyoming design. Instead of a detailed landscape or complex imagery, the reverse relies on stark negative space, giving the horse and rider silhouette a bold appearance that stands out among the other state quarters, though this same simplicity occasionally leads to wear showing more quickly on circulated examples, especially around the horse's legs and tail. While the 2007 P Wyoming quarter is common in circulation and generally carries a face value of 25 cents unless in exceptional condition, uncirculated or high-grade mint state pieces can be desirable to collectors assembling full state quarter sets, and some examples exhibit minor die varieties such as die chips or small breaks that, while not rare, interest error coin collectors. The coin's obverse retains the traditional George Washington portrait, originally sculpted by John Flanagan in 1932 and slightly modified for the 50-state quarters program. As part of the overall historical arc of the series, the Wyoming quarter stands as a symbolic tribute not only to the state's rugged frontier heritage, wild landscapes, and connection to ranching and rodeo culture, but also to its unique and enduring commitment to equality and civil rights. Its design thus remains both visually distinctive and historically meaningful within one of the most widely collected commemorative circulating coin programs in American history. Next top. The Delaware State Quarter, issued in 1999 with a mint mark D for the Denver Mint, holds a special place in modern U.S. numismatics because it was the very first release in the ambitious 50-state quarters program, a decade-long series launched by the U.S. Mint to honor each state in the order it ratified the Constitution or joined the Union. Delaware, proudly known as the first state, ratified the U.S. Constitution on December 7, 1787, a milestone reflected in the date 1787 on the quarter's reverse design. The coin carries all standard Washington quarter inscriptions such as United States of America, Quarter Dollar, Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum, but what distinguishes it is the dynamic portrayal of Caesar Rodney, a pivotal but sometimes overlooked figure in Revolutionary-era American history. Rodney, a Delaware statesman, is depicted riding horseback at full gallop, symbolizing his legendary overnight ride of July 1 to 2, 1776, when he journeyed from Dover, Delaware, through a fierce thunderstorm and while suffering from severe illness, including a cancerous facial lesion and asthma, to reach the Continental Congress in Philadelphia. His dramatic arrival broke a deadlock in the Delaware delegation, allowing the colony to cast the decisive vote in favor of independence from Great Britain, which helped secure unanimity among the colonies and contributed to the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. The image of Rodney on horseback was selected because it captures not only Delaware's role in America's founding but also the themes of personal courage, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to liberty. Designed by William Cousins, based on the original portrait model of George Washington by John Flanagan, The obverse maintains continuity with the traditional Washington design, while the reverse commemorates Delaware's revolutionary hero in clean sculptural detail. Struck in large quantities for general circulation, the 1999 D version is made of standard clad composition, copper-nickel outer layers around a pure copper core, resulting in the standard 5.67-gram weight, 24.26 mm diameter, and reeded edge shared by all modern quarters. The high mintage of the 1999 D Delaware quarter makes circulated specimens common, but pristine mint state examples, especially those grading MS-67 or MS-68, can be attractive to collectors completing state quarter sets. Early die states with full detail in Rodney's horse, the rider's hat, and the flowing cape are particularly desirable. Additionally, because this was the first coin of the series, many Americans saved these quarters from circulation, leading to both nostalgia and continued collector interest. Over the years, hobbyists have documented minor die varieties such as small die cracks along the horse's mane, die chips near the lettering, or slight doubling in the inscriptions, none of which are extremely rare but which still intrigue error coin enthusiasts. As one of the most historically symbolic designs in the program, the Delaware quarter honors not only the moment when Delaware became the first state to ratify the Constitution, but also the dramatic revolutionary episode that shaped the founding of the nation. By combining powerful historical narrative with bold visual storytelling, the 1999 D Delaware State Quarter stands as an enduring tribute to courage, independence, and the crucial role this small but influential state played in the birth of the United States.